Good to be back on the air. This game is currently one of the hottest games in 2024. For this video, I will be covering a god team game with world building, PvE, as well as high-skill, fast-paced PvP gameplay called Apeiron. I'll discuss everything that you need to know from the perspective of a player and as a holder, so check those timestamps if you're looking for specific topics, and with that out of the way, let's dive right in. So, what is Apeiron? Apeiron is a blockchain-based game that falls under the category of god games. It combines elements of a card game, roguelike, and MOBA games like Mobile Legends. Players assume the role of godlings, which are tied to planets that can summon an avatar, as well as AI-controlled fighters called apostles. So the current game is split into PvE and PvP game modes, which you need to download as separate clients. So the PvE game is a roguelike dungeon crawler game with a formula where you battle through rooms filled with different enemies, random events, and a difficult boss fight at the end. The PvP mode, on the other hand, is a 1v1 game with a hybrid of MOBA mechanics and movement, as you control your avatar with card game mechanics blended into it in real time, like a cross between Mobile Legends and Final Fantasy XII. The PvE mode currently has 3 acts, which take about 30 minutes to finish from start to end in one sitting, though the difficulty scales up quite a lot, which means that you have to do some min-maxing if you want to be able to proceed. You can play the PvE mode for free or with your planet and avatar and start earning and selling apostles for profit, and to participate in Apeiron's Play to Airdrop campaign. You can read the full details of their airdrop link in the description below. Currently, each apostle can go for a few dollars to almost $150 each, and more depending on rarity. Next, we have my favorite, which is the PvP mode, which is your typical 1 versus 1 battle that plays out like a typical match in League of Legends Arena. You and a player enter the battle as your planet's avatar, accompanied with 6 of your apostles, where you battle it out to eliminate the enemy avatar. You gain energy throughout the match, which you use to activate the cards or skills of your avatar and apostles, which varies in effect, including but not limited to buffing stats, healing your team, dealing damage, and crowd control. As conflict is inevitable in life, as the match progresses, the arena gradually closes, with the edge of the map dealing a huge amount of damage per second to those caught outside, which forces players to cluster tighter together and inevitably fight. Take note that for PvP mode, you're only required to kill the enemy avatar, not his apostles, which means sneaking a kill on a player character gives you an instant win, but of course, this is much easier said than done. Apostles come in 6 classes, which is Guardian, Warrior, Rogue, Mage, Priest, and Hunter. Each class comes with 3 skills out of a pool of 8, each of which has a different effect, utility, and energy cost. Guardians are your stereotypical tank minions whose skills are crowd control, increasing defense, and setting up your combos for the rest of your team. The best skill for this class is the Prickly Personality skill, which returns damage to attackers, making it perfect for your hyper-aggressive opponents who want to punch your face in as early as possible. Warriors are your bread and butter fighter class who can dish out damage while also taking punishment themselves. Their main skills revolve around buffing their basic attacks, dealing crowd control, and some survivability. Rogues are your glass cannon damage dealers whose job is to get close and deal as much damage as fast as possible. As such, their skills revolve around mobility, high burst damage, and misdirection. Noteworthy skills for rogues is Blade Breakdancing, which allows you to blink to an area while dealing AoE damage, as well as Card Shark, which allows you to redraw your last played card. Mages are Black Priests, whose job is to deal damage from afar while also giving you offensive buffs to maximize your attacks. Some of the most notable skills for this class is Mystic Flow, which reduces the energy cost of your next card by 1, while also buffing your avatar, and Fall Up, which deals damage and stuns enemies in an area. Priest is the support class whose skills are all about healing and providing defensive bonuses to your team. The most important skill here is Circle of Healing, which heals everyone in an area over a few seconds. Last but not the least are Hunters, which are your backline damage dealers whose job is to provide consistent damage per second from afar. I haven't seen much of Hunters, but their most interesting skill for me is Hawkeye, which allows you to draw a card for a specific ally as well as massively buff his next attack. Now, let's talk about avatars and planets. Each planet in Apeiron is a unique digital asset which comes in multiple traits. For the sake of PvP and PvE, traits that are most important in a planet are planet type and element's value, avatar class, as well as the skills that it comes with. So each planet is made up of 4 elements, which are fire, earth, air, and water. So a volcanic planet, for example, is made up of only fire and earth, while a Leviathan planet is made up exclusively of water. Coincidentally, each element has a unique separate skill tree that increases in potency from C1 to C7. The more a certain element makes up your planet, the more points you can use to unlock skills in that element's skill tree. So each element in Apeiron has a certain archetype when it comes to the skills that they provide, with air skills, for example, being more focused on mobility and flashy movement and skills, while fire skills are more focused on pure damage and punching through an enemy. Water skills, on the other hand, are all about control, and earth skills are all about debilitating effects and attrition. So how does this play out? In PvP, the game's skill ceiling is extremely high and has layers of complexity when it comes to theory crafting. I predict that this game will have an active competitive scene similar to their fellow game on Ronin Network, Axie Infinity. Apeiron is not your typical blockchain game where you can just copy-paste a guide somewhere and have instant success. It's all about finding what works for you and what you enjoy playing. Winning matches in Apeiron is about 40% your skills in game and 60% your preparation. What skills you take, what apostles you bring, and how much that you plan your match and how you actually execute it. So the game mechanics are the following. You start the match with one card from each of your avatar and apostles respectively, and as you use them, it goes to your discard pile and you draw down until you've picked all your cards. Of course, if an apostle dies, its cards are removed from your piles, which means you end up with only your avatar's cards if ever all your apostles die. As the match progresses, the map gets smaller as a storm closes in, with you getting massive damage by being caught outside the zone. This encourages people to either play fast or play slow and play around the storm. Now, since Apeiron's PvP is extremely complex, I won't go through all the basics of how to play it, but instead I will give you a team composition that I personally used and found good, especially for people who are just starting out. So it's called the Leviathan team. The complete skills and passives that will be used is listed right now on your screen. Your 3 skills to use here will be Cold Water Ritual, Drag to the Bottom, and Sub-Zero Freeze. Take note that the order that you take this is very important. It's absolutely crucial that you take Cold Water Ritual first, and the second and the third you can swap around as you like. So the strategy for this build is to focus on either killing the enemy apostles first or let him kill your apostles first, but to the point that it's already very late in the game and the storm is coming and these apostles are also whittled down. You always start the round off by firing your Cold Water Ritual on all 4 of the enemy apostles, since this freezes them in place and deals a decent amount of damage. Your Sub-Zero Freeze is your main source of damage here as an AoE spell with a weak slow, but your bread and butter skill here will be Drag to the Bottom, as this fires a massive wave at your opponent that knocks up and drags everything it comes across, where it then bounces off walls several times before disappearing while also dealing a decent amount of damage per hit. This offers a lot of 1v5 potential because with Drag to the Bottom and Cold Water Ritual, you can pretty much make sure that the enemy apostles can never touch or get near you while relying on pushing and disrupting the enemy out into the storm with Drag to the Bottom, all while having good sustainability too because your damage dealt by spells heal you for a certain amount. If you want some more team compositions or you want to theory craft your own team by mix and matching apostles and avatar skills, you can check out this community website made by Asterisk, one of the OGs of Apeiron's community called godling.io. So how much can you earn by playing Apeiron? Currently there are 2 ways that you can earn from Apeiron, which is through the play to airdrop campaign and by farming apostles in PvE. The good news is they are connected and you can actually do both at the same time. Apeiron has a play to airdrop campaign which aims to reward players for playing consistently instead of grinding endlessly. You get airdrop points which is converted into anima tokens which are battle vested, which means that they are locked and you have to play the game to gradually unlock them and allow you to trade and sell them. You can earn airdrop points through many ways, which include liking, retweeting, and commenting on Apeiron's official Twitter posts, playing the PvE game, playing PvP and placing in different ranks, as well as by owning assets such as the planets and the stars. I have a full breakdown of how to earn points linked below, but the summary is you receive locked anima tokens by playing based on how much airdrop points you have, and if you cross certain thresholds you will instantly unlock a certain percentage of your anima tokens on TGE. As for the apostles which you can farm through PvE, a floor apostle is currently sitting at around $7 to $10 each, with higher quality ones fetching higher prices. Of course, community giveaways and unique drops are still regularly occurring, so for example, you manage to receive a black hole NFT, which is used to breed the planets, then you're sitting at a nice $60 to $70. Apeiron is currently being launched and incubated on Ronin Network, which is Sky Mavis Layer 1 game network, which means that they have exposure to hundreds of thousands of players already. Their PvP game especially has a lot of potential because of the complexity and fun gameplay that can cultivate a healthy player base because of the easy to learn but hard to master mechanics that it offers. That's all, and if you're interested in more Apeiron content in the future, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you all on the other side.